Oh my god, my throat is just messed up today. Dog lover, what's up, brother? Ooh. You know who it is. Try being my size, Amy. I do love me some Dark Oak, man. I went ahead and I started a new world because I hated the one that we found at the end of the last stream. This one is not hardcore. I'm just getting tired of dying. So I'm going to take a break from hardcore for a little bit. But I figured let's start like something a little bit new. And just see where it goes. You know, no plans. Let's just build something cool. Why is it so quiet? Am I crazy? Oh, the master volume's down. Okay. 64 out of one tree. Not bad. I do know that there's a cave right here, conveniently. Dude, I was like struggling earlier. I took a little nap. Changed my life. I feel like a whole new person. Of course, it's full of water. Why would it not be full of water? You know what? Screw you, Minecraft. I'm going to bring doors, and we're going to go dig underwater anyways. What is going on, Lillian? Welcome back. But yeah, all day today I had this like weird like I don't even know what to call it. My like throat was like sore, like back by my taunt, like one side of my neck. I was like, I need to lay down. I feel much better now. Yeah, usually if I talk to you like once, usually I'll remember your username. I'm pretty good at that. I like I said, I was feeling kind of rough earlier. I was just like worn out. I was like, dude, I just need to take like a little nap, lay down for like an hour, feel great, change my life. How are you doing? So it seems my options are Dark Oak Forest or whatever this is. Subtropics. I'm feeling we build a little forest house. That's where I'm leaning here. Let's go ahead. What should I make it though? Maybe like a little fantasy themed. Like, let's try. Let's take these oak logs. I've actually never done this before, like what I'm about to attempt to do. So this could look terrible. Bear with me. I can't stand Leaf Litter. One of the worst things they've ever added to the game. Get out of here. I understand it adds texture to the ground, whatever. Okay. What if we do like a little like bunkhouse to start, you know? So make it like longer. I don't want to get rid of that mushroom though. That is a problem. Because if we're going to stick with like a fantasy theme, I want to keep all the mushrooms. So what if we do boom. And then come down here. Andre, thank you for the follow. Okay, we'll make it 2-door. Totally fine, totally fine. Then we kind of frame it a little bit like that. Again, I'm just making this up on off the dome, so I have no idea what this is actually going to look like. Dude, stop spawning zombies in the middle of the day. Get out of here. Okay, oak tree. Is this another cave? Whoa! Yeah, for sure, Viper. For TikTok specifically, I use just the TikTok Studio. I don't know if you're asking about my camera, but I'll get there in a second too. For everything else, I use OBS, which is like not super user friendly, but once you figure out how to use it, you can do a lot with it. If you're like new to streaming and like don't know how to work like streaming softwares, Streamlabs is a good option, but you have to pay for a lot of like the more advanced features. Because I originally used Streamlabs, and then once I figured out how to like do everything, I switched to OBS. For my camera, I have like an older model of the Logitech like HD like streaming camera. I want to say I got it at like an Office Depot during COVID for school, like when I was in college. But the reason I specifically use TikTok Studio for TikTok is because TikTok likes it a little bit better if you use their software. You have like less issues, and there's a lot less like lag in between like what you're doing on camera and like what shows on the stream. Because if you use any other software, it's going to be like a bit behind. That being said, I don't really have any issues with TikTok Studio. Yeah, no problem. Anytime, if anybody ever wants to know anything about streaming, feel free to ask. I love sharing. It's like one of my favorite hobbies now. I haven't even been doing it that long. I will say there's a lot more freedom on OBS. Like I have all sorts of like overlays and stuff like that I can't use on TikTok Studio. That being said, TikTok Studio gives you like better analytics for TikTok, and the way the algorithm works on TikTok is certain like features. So for example, if you use like an animation on your screen, they consider that like pre-recorded content, and it'll drop like your algorithm interactions for like putting people into your stream. Well, TikTok Studio like doesn't let you do anything that would like interfere with your algorithm interaction. So it kind of keeps you honest as far as like the algorithm goes. I would say it's not like base OBS is not resource heavy at all, right? It's actually recommended for like even if you're not streaming. OBS is a software that a lot of people would recommend just for like recording purposes. This is a solo Java world, but I do play on a SMP server that I own, and that is in my bio, the link there. Every Wednesday I play on that for a couple of hours, and then anytime I do extra streams, I hop on there as well sometimes. Anyway, I say base OBS because you can do like web links and all sorts of stuff to like expand OBS's capabilities. So like I use a web link plugin made by Stream Elements that allows me to multi-stream. So literally every other platform I'm on. I'm on 3 other platforms besides TikTok. I just use OBS, and it's like one instance, which actually saves a lot of computer resource. Dude, ridiculous. Jonas, thank you for the fall or the rose. Yeah, that's the tricky part. OBS is not user friendly at all. Like, there's not really a good tutorial built into it. You have to like find YouTube videos. Dream, thank you for the follow. Okay. Time out. There's 2 problems. One, I have been told by multiple people that TikTok is not sending out notifications for my streams anymore. I don't know why. I've reached out to see if like I accidentally like broke a rule or something. And then also, so Monday I was sick, and Tuesday was my wife's birthday, so I didn't stream. I feel like I should get a little grace on that, you know. Let's do this. Get some charcoal. Mad, thank you for the follow. But yeah, OBS, dude, is tricky at first. Like, it is very, like, it took me a solid 3 months to, like, teach myself how to, like, work it all and for it to, like, look the way I wanted it to look. No, I'm gonna stick with this one. Okay, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna own this. I'm gonna own this, Venus. I feel like I have to own this. Since I was playing hardcore so much and I kept dying, I was losing the worlds. So I'd have to start over. And I was just so dead set on, like, I want to play hardcore. Because I had a really good hardcore world that I loved, that I lost for, like, a really dumb reason. It wasn't my fault. And I just couldn't get another hardcore world, like, established that I liked and that I made it far enough where I was going to survive. So today, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a new world, and it's not going to be hardcore. I'm going to play on hard. So I'm going to stick with this world for a while. I'm going to take a break from hardcore. We'll come back to it eventually. But I'm going to stick with this world. Oh my gosh. Bro. Can we chill out? Yeah, that's why I said I had to own it. I was like, all right, look. You know, maybe I'm just not that good. Thank you for the follow, Viper. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you ever have questions, feel free to reach out, man. Oh my gosh. See, I did not. I paid for my game legitimately. No, I bought, thank you for the follow also. I bought the game a long time ago, like back before Microsoft owned it. I've had Minecraft forever. Do I think it's okay to pirate? I think it depends. I think there's certain, like, the state of gaming recently has just gotten so, like, money hungry that thank you for the music cloud. Okay, I don't understand why all of a sudden there's a trillion mobs. I mean, I know it's nighttime, but this is a little ridiculous. The state of gaming, like, for example, the remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I loved Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It like charging, $70 for a game that you essentially tweaked and put on a newer engine is insane. That is insanity. Honestly, it's a spit in the face, and there's no options. Like, if you already own the game, it's cheaper. Like, it's basically just like, screw you if you want to play this new game, or not even new game. If you want to play this remake of a classic game, you have to pay us the full price. And that to me is unacceptable. Like, that is just not, I can't get behind that. Minecraft is owned by Microsoft now. I wouldn't pirate it just because, like, it's not crazy expensive, but I understand, like, there's people who, like, don't have a ton of money, or kids that don't, like, can't work or whatever. Like, I get it. Like, depending on your situation, I totally understand. I just, like, don't, I don't feel bad for large scale gaming corporations anymore. Like, in the past, when everything was reasonable, when it was like original content and everything else, I'm like, okay, sure, like, you got to make return on your investment. But Minecraft is, almost 20 years old now, and the updates they put out are not that expansive. Honestly, it's owned by Microsoft. At this point, they should probably just consider making it, like, included, like, free with, like, Xboxes or... What is this? This is why I took a break from hardcore. It's like stuff like this. It's night 1. It is day 0 still, and the game is doing this to me. Get away from me. It's just you and me now, boy. God, that was terrible. Okay. Well, we're like semi-safe at the moment. Spiders can still get in, but... Dude, ridiculous. Let's keep making charcoal, and then we'll make some copper armor to, like, help us get through the nights and everything. But yeah, it is straight up theft. Like, you're not going to convince me that these billion-dollar corporations deserve $70 for the garbage that they're pumping out these days. It's just completely unacceptable. The fence for a temporary window is a good idea. That's a solid one. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, Venus, like, a couple of weeks ago, it's been like almost 3 weeks now, like, all of a sudden, like, traffic just dropped off, like, almost completely from the algorithm. And I don't know why. And it stopped sending notifications to my followers, like... So people keep jumping on the stream and they're like, oh, where have you been? It's been so long. And I'm like, I'm still here. I've still been here. Jack, what's up, my guy? And at first I thought it was a me thing. I was like, oh, maybe I fell off, or like people just aren't that interested anymore. But I had like 4 or 5 of like streamers that I like know, we like talk, who asked me. They were like, have you noticed like drops in like your analytics and stuff? Like, I don't know if I did something wrong. And I'm like, no, dude, like, I'm having the same problem. So I reached out to TikTok to see. I haven't heard anything back. Because it wasn't like a slow decline. It was like we had like 200 people in here, and then like the next day it was like 10. And I was like, I don't understand. I didn't change anything. Like, to put it in perspective, on an average like 2 to 3 hour stream, I might had like 3,000 to 5,000 people come through. Like, the algorithm puts 3,000 to 5,000 people into the stream. The past 3 weeks, I get maybe 1,000, maybe. So it's like a 66% drop. Hello, hello. Which, like, whatever. I don't do this for money, so like it's not as bad for me because I have like streamer buddies that stream for money, and they're like, yeah, dude, like I am getting nothing now. Which for me it's just frustrating because I like having chat interaction. You know, the more people that are in the chat, like the more fun I have. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I can like wait until I figure it out. But I've been good. I was sick Monday. It was Lex's birthday Tuesday. It's been a busy week. How are you? Okay. We're gonna make another furnace. I'm curious if it's because I turned the auto bleep feature off, because everybody I know that has this issue also turned the auto bleep feature off. I feel like you either get busy or you get like burnt out on Minecraft and then you like stop and then until you see it again you like don't play. I've been mixing in like random like other games into the streams, and I just to avoid the burnout, you know, like last Friday I did like a little Fortnite stream. Dude, my allergies have been going nuts today. What happened to my pickaxe? Okay. I guess we're making a new one. All right. Decent amount of coal here. 13, not bad. Go ahead, make some torches. That's what we were trying to avoid. Whoof! Hello there. I think it's funny that they never fixed the like spider glitch where they just float there. And they're always like staring at you too. They're like, please help. Okay. Let's make some armor real quick and then we'll try to jump down there. Bam. One. So I died again in a hardcore, and I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of starting over. Let's just like do a new world on hard and vibe it out. You know, I'm gonna take a little break from hardcore. I just like can't lock in. After I lost the like ancient Greek world, it's been so hard for me to like get to a point. Hey, you too, Uriel. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, dude, like I don't know, I just like never recovered from that. I like just keep dying. So I'm like, okay, I just need to take a little break. Thank you for the follow, my guy. I'll go back to it eventually because I do like the challenge of hardcore, you know, like the thrill of it. I just don't. It's not good content, you know, dying all the time in hardcore, and I want to build stuff. You know, I want to get back to that. But what? Okay, what's up? Long time no see. Dun, dun, dun. Let's get this. Oh, it opens over here too. If the map is correct, which it usually is, there is a like ravine or something over here. Yeah. No Man's Sky, nice. I feel like everybody. July is just a really busy month. Like, it's always a gauntlet for me. There was a while where, like, I could max stream 2 hours a day. Like, I had to, like, immediately get off at the 2 hour mark every time. Because I was just so busy. And then, like, this week, like, I was sick Monday. Tuesday was Lex's birthday. Yesterday, I was, like, still not feeling great. It was Cologne's birthday Wednesday. It's just, like, can't win. I'm definitely feeling better, for sure. I feel like Tuesday was probably the worst I felt. Wednesday, I was just, like, yesterday I was just so tired, you know? I think I was just worn out from being sick. Like, I fell asleep at 10, which is unheard of. Like, normally I don't sleep until, like, at least 1 or 2 in the morning. But I've been playing Brian. Yeah, that's what I was thinking is, like, I couldn't even hold, like, conversations. Like, I felt bad. I streamed for an hour yesterday. I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is not good content. Like, this is not worth it for me or you. But I've been playing Star Citizen a lot lately with Kale and Cologne, like off stream, which is No Man's Sky-esque. You know, it's not like the same, but it's same in the sense of like open universe, no load. There's no loading screens, not a single one. But it's been in alpha for like ever. And it's still super buggy. Okay, let's take this. But honestly, I've been having a good time with it. I think it's definitely a super interesting concept. I know Cider doesn't like it. He's like, oh, it's a scam. Dog lover, what's up? Which, like, low key, if you spend more than the $40 it takes to play the game, it probably is a scam. Not gonna lie. Okay, I've yet to see a single animal. The only mobs I've seen are hostile. Sean, thank you for sharing. I need seeds or something. I need food. But I can't find any animals. Like, not even a pig. Oh, I say that? Hang on. Whoa! Am I God? Am I Minecraft God? Okay. We're killing everything. Everything that moves. Come here. Yeah, I mean, I like mushroom biomes too. I just don't like building in them, you know, because it's like hard to theme them unless you like build in a mushroom. I am actually stupid lucky, but I'm also very unlucky. Like my luck goes both ways. I'm either like outrageously lucky or outrageously unlucky. See, I already don't know what I'm doing with this weird long house cabin thing. Why can't I get any seats? Like, why is the game refusing to give me seats? And it's about to be nighttime again. We don't have any sheep. Not good. Not good. No, I want it the other way. Sweet, brother. Enjoy. No, not the first time. This is a brand new world. I'm literally on day one. But I play Minecraft fairly often. Oh my god, Jesus. Leave me alone. I'm gonna go ahead and make tools. This is what I hate about the beginning of the game. Like... Oh, wait, we can make a shield. Hold up. I was like, what am I to do with one piece of iron? And then I remembered that shields are a thing that you should use. Okay, we do need as many torches as we can possibly make, so... Rach! Hello! The earth says hello. I'm feeling much better today. Yesterday, dude, I was just like dragging. I couldn't even form sentences towards the end. I was like, I gotta go. Like, I fell asleep right after I got off the stream. Like literally, I like went to go lay down. Me and Lex like ate dinner and passed. I can't remember the last time I fell asleep before midnight. Could not tell you. Just honk shooed right through the night. Dude, what is with these caves? None of them go anywhere. But yeah, Alexa's like, oh, do you want to just like lay down, like watch TV? I'm like, yeah, sure. I passed out instantly. It's the worst. And like normally I wouldn't mind staying up. It was just like I couldn't stream, you know? Like I just like felt bad because I like couldn't hold conversation. I was like, oh my god. Okay, we need to find sheep. Okay, well, this is dumb. I just feel bad. I've missed a lot this week with being out Monday and then Lex's birthday. I'm gonna pop a message in the Discord because I keep getting told. I've been told by other people now too that they don't get notifications about my streams. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm still waiting to hear back on like what it could be, I guess. Okay, don't worry. We just need like 12 more spiders and we'll have enough string to make a bed. Because apparently sheep do not exist. Teddy! What's up, brother? Oh! Come here, my wold friend. Love a good Walmart trip. I'm still telling you, bro. I am your band teacher. How do I prove it? I'm about to say a lot of no-no words. Oh my god. Can you guys stop just hovering over my corpse? Give me this. What's something Andy Rhodes would say? Hi, I'm Andy Rhodes. Rage, thank you for the hat and mustache. You're telling me he wouldn't say, hi, I'm Andy Rhodes? You're a liar. What's up, Valak? Yeah, I decided to send a message in the Discord because I've been told by a lot of people that they are not receiving notifications for my lives. I don't know what's been going on with that. Okay, I'm missing boots and an axe. Yeah, I figured like, okay, let's just pop in a message to the Discord, and as soon as I did, like three more regulars joined. So I'm like, something's not right with TikTok. I don't know. I've been having a lot of issues with TikTok lately. I still don't have the boots. Woo. Okay. We have 2 pieces of wool, and then we have enough string. No, we don't. I thought I killed 2 more. Where did the boots go? I died like right here. Why are there so many mobs? It's ridiculous. Like, I get I'm playing on hard, but, like, come on. I feel like I'm just on a mob simulator. Like, what is going on, dude? This guy just phased through the door. Oh, shoot. No, but I will do that. I told you I would, and I will. Okay, well, that guy is holding my wood. Hold my wood. Like, dude, it is Night of the Living Dead here. It should be on the newest version, I believe. Actually, it might be 26.1.2. No, it's on the newest one. It's on the newest version. Ignore me. Okay, let's go see if the boots are still there. They're probably not, but you know, we'll give it a college try. Where are you? Come here. Okay. And I'm living in this dark oak forest, so like all these mobs spawn and then they don't go away. I'm fighting a never-ending war. Okay. String. Wool. Wool, wool. We need to dye the wool. No problem. There should be some flowers somewhere. Sir, could you kindly stay away from me? Yeah, I think the boots either despawned or a mob walked off wearing them. Lame. Okay. Apparently there is no flowers. Apparently flowers have ceased to exist. Do these give you dye? Aha, they do. Yo, there's a sheep on that island. What? Okay, light blue bed it is. Them's our options. Mm-mm. Okie dokie. Bed. And then let's make a roof to this house. Because we don't want it to be roofless. This is going to end up looking like a villager house. That's fine. That's fine. Can I reach the crafting table from here? Of course not. Of course not. Okay. Oh, wait. We have more. Oops. Oh, my dog is freaking out about something. Dude sounds like one of those screaming goats. Bam. Dude, he's just still going. Squid! What's up, brother? Long time no see, my guy. Yeah, so I did a Fortnite stream and I forgot to change it back, but then people were like, oh, I kind of like the full screen, so I left it. I do not have any extra Java accounts. I am very sorry. See, the only reason I didn't have it full screen from the get-go was because I wasn't sure if you guys were going to be able to see. Like, I didn't know if it was going to be, like, too small, you know? You too. Appreciate the follow, though. Yo, what up, brother? Welcome back. So many regulars back in the chat. It's a pleasure to see you guys. Not much, just crafted. I decided to take a little break from the hardcore because it just wasn't working out, and I got tired of starting over. So I started a new hard world. We're still gonna switch back and forth in the castle. I just wanted like a world that was like fresh, and then the castle world. So we're taking a break from hardcore. Probably we'll try to go back to it eventually. I was just getting over it. Okay. For now, that's fine. Captain Fitz, thank you for the heartbeat, brother. I appreciate you. Three skeletons. Super sick. Dude just tried to 360 me? Not today. Look at that. That's crazy. Not today, but I will probably try to sneak in a castle stream this weekend. Because I did not play Tuesday because it was Lex's birthday. And I definitely want to give the castle its due. Pay our respects to the U-shaped valley. Okay, well, at least now we can make new boots. As one must. Jameson, what's going on, brother? Give me that. Yo, what? That's not cool. Fully? Jeez. That sounds like something four-wheeler would do. For TikTok, yes. I do stream through Live Studio. What's going on, Jorik? The guy in the tower? next to me? I don't know, I moved. Joe, what up? BLB, what's up, brother? I know, but I got lost. I can't find my way back, and I found like a way cooler spot. I'm not a big fan of peanut butter, like in general. Yeah, not me just abandoning my dog. I mean, you know, seems fair. Sounds good. Dude, Cheesecake Factory slaps. I'm a big fan of like Oreos, you know, and like cookies and cream and stuff. They have a cookies and cream cheesecake there. Fantastic. Am I out of food? I am. Yeah. It is a Cheesecake Factory all around decent place, yeah. It's probably a consistency thing because I actually don't mind peanuts. But I am not right now. I'm just on a solo world. Soraya, what up? But my youngest sister's allergic to peanuts, so maybe it's just like a learned behavior. Ew, gross. Yeah, I wouldn't go either. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how far that is for you, but I'm trying to remember where the nearest Cheesecake Factory to me is. I feel like it's pretty far. Because, like, I definitely don't have one in town. It's probably in Dallas, honestly. I have never been to Chicago. I'd like to go one day. Shreya? What was I saying? Hang on, now I'm second guessing myself. Oh, dude, maybe I'm just dyslexic. I don't know. My bad, brother. Yeah, don't feel bad. Definitely correct me. Yeah, I mean, I've been told that Chicago is basically New York if it was clean. But love hands, what's up, brother? No, yeah, if I ever pronounce somebody's name wrong, please correct me. I would rather know. Um, I had a dragon egg once. We don't have to talk about that. They said Rach wrong? Did they say Ratch? How do you mess up Reach? Thank you for the rose. Ratch. Bro, Ratch is crazy. I understand, like, Rosh. Like, my mother-in-law's name's Rochelle, but she spells it with an A. And people call her, like, Rosh instead of Rochelle. Or Rashi. Ratch? Playing Ratchet and Clank. It is. This might be questionable, and don't cancel me for saying this. It sounds kind of Indian, Rosh? I don't know. I'll check it out, Luca. Right, I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. It just does sound culturally Indian. But okay, like this is like a funny story. It's a short one. So my mother-in-law, her name is Rochelle, right? But she's the reason I say she spells it with an A and not it's spelled with an A is because when she was born, so my wife's family is very like French Cajun, right? Like they can trace their lineage right back to the boats from France. Um, and so they were like, "Oh, let's name her Rochelle, like with an A, right?" Which is a correct spelling in Cajun French. And the hospital made a mistake. They thought like they oh my god, dude, I tried to time that perfectly. So they're like, "Oh, like is it Rachel?" And they're like, "No, it's Rochelle." And so they changed it to an O, right? And so her like teachers and stuff growing up would be like, "Oh, like Rochelle," and she was like, "It's Rochelle, Rochelle, Ra." I thought that was like a funny thing. I was like, dude, imagine like the hospital, like they didn't even ask, they just changed it. So her legal name is with an O, but she spells it with an A. I'm like, who thought that was a good idea to like not ask and just do it? Yeah, well, so my mother-in-law went to Catholic school, which like most people in New Orleans do. And so she would like get in trouble at school for arguing with the nuns about her name. But I can understand that a little bit, but like I would probably ask. I don't think like I don't know. I'm trying to think what I would do if I was writing the name Rachel. Like if you didn't tell me. But yeah, as a cradle Catholic myself, like I simply just would not argue with them, like whatever you say, ma'am. That's an agent of God, bro. I ain't bringing that wrath on me. I went to my for my grandmother's funeral, right? We went out to where my dad is from, which if you guys remember, I was there recently for another funeral and there's nothing there. There's literally nothing. And so the only church is a Catholic church that was built by like the Spanish back when they owned California. And there's a school, right? And the public schools there are like underfunded, so a lot of people go there. And the school I believe is free, because it's like a farming community or whatever. The church provides like free education. So I had never actually spent time around nuns growing up, right? My church didn't have like nuns assigned to it. I didn't go to Catholic school. So like I had seen them obviously and like I knew what they were. It's not like I had never spoken to one, but I didn't spend an extended amount of time. And I'm sitting there at the like whatever reception thing after the funeral, and we're eating and stuff, and I'm joking around with my cousins who I haven't seen in forever, and I said, I can't even remember the curse word I said. I probably said like the F word or something. And a nun happened to be like right behind me. Right. And she full on smacked me in the side of the head with the Bible. It's just like, man, because it was in the church. We were like in the church's like activity center. And she was like, don't use that language in the house of God. And I was like, oh God. And like, and then I'm like looking around, and you know my mom's Italian Catholic from Connecticut, my dad's Irish Catholic from California, and they thought it was hilarious. They were like, oh, like, yeah. I mean, like, objectively looking back on it, it is funny, but in the moment, I was like, what is this? This woman just hit me with a book. But Kelly, thank you for the follow. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Catholic Bibles have more books in them than Protestant Bibles, so they're thicker. They're even bigger. Yeah, she was trying to knock the sins out of me. Uh-oh. Hello? Thought my game crashed there for a second. I was like, I'm not even doing anything. But my for my grandma's funeral, I don't know why I'm like just now thinking of these memories, because these are funny. For my grandma's funeral, they flew in a priest from Ireland, right? So really thick Irish accent. And at the funeral, we're doing the Hail Mary, right? And you know the like second line of the Hail Mary is, you know, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, or blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus, right? But every time he said Jesus, Robin, what's going on, brother? Every time he said Jesus, because he's going like a million miles per hour, he's like, you know, blessed are you amongst women, blessed are the, you know, like, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, Jesus, right? It was every time. And this dude said like 50 Hail Marys in a row, right? So it was just like, Jesus, like over and over and over again. And like me and my sister and like my cousins were all looking at each other trying not to laugh. Because we're all sad, you know, we're crying. We're like, oh, grandma's dead. And then this priest is just going. But it has been a long time, Robin. How are you? Welcome back. I'm doing all right, brother. I'm doing all right. Finally, things are starting to slow down. I feel like the beginning of this month was like complete chaos. It just like was nonstop. At one point, I was like begging. I was like, please, just let it end. Whoa. We need more food. Oh, we can sleep. Yay! Oh, that's not good, brother. I'm sorry you had a bad day. Relax, you know, unclench the jaw, hang out. Enjoy the soothing sounds of Minecraft. For real though, like real talk, Minecraft kind of is like an ASMR game. Ooh, cowhead. I don't know. Knowing my luck, probably the cow probably was like, yo, you want this smoke? You saw he tried to attack me. He had a gun. I had to kill the cow. My dad, though, growing up, they would go to Mexico like fairly often because the border with Mexico is literally like 10 feet from my dad's town. So they'd go down there to get like cheap beer and stuff with my grandpa. And so like my grandpa would get really tan in the summer because they were farmers. And they brought my dad and they're out playing soccer in the street, you know, with the little Mexican kids. And the bartender asked him, he's like, hey, what are you doing with these little white boys? And my grandpa was also like fluent in Spanish, like completely fluent, like no accent, nothing. And so my grandpa, trying to be funny, it was like, oh yeah, I stole them from the US, like I'm gonna sell them, right? Like hee hee ha ha. And so this guy overhears him and like sneaks out the back of the bar and like goes to call the federales, right? And there's a group of nuns there, like across the street, not at the bar. And he's like, hey, like you need to come get these little kids, like blah blah. And so the nuns, which like, hey, props to this guy, you know, props to this guy. He thought these kids were being trafficked. He did the right thing. But the nuns come and like are like grabbing my dad and my Uncle Hugh, who's like 4, you know, and they're like, oh, come here, you know. And they were told, as was I, you know, if like nuns tell you to do something, you just shut up and do it. So they start going. They're like, okay. And my grandpa comes out and he's like, hey, like what's going on? And the nuns start like attacking my grandpa. They're like beating him with stuff, you know. They're like, oh, like you stole these kids, right? And he's like, no, like I'm an American, I swear to God. And they had to like pull out all their like documentation, like their driver's licenses, everything. They're like, no, we swear to God we're Americans. But yeah, these nuns were like willing to die over this. They were like, absolutely not, you're not taking these kids. And I was like, I don't know what town in Mexico this was, but apparently it's just full of really good people. Like these people were like, no, absolutely not. You know, because this is like pre-cell phones. I was like, dude, this whole community was ready to like murder over some little white kids in the street. Yeah, dude, my dad's hometown is like the weird. It is another dimension. It is like a Twilight Zone place. I have an uncle who was adopted, right? And he was adopted because his mom had like drug issues and his dad was getting deported. And this is, you know, this is a long time ago. So my uncle Mesquite is a U.S. citizen. He was born in the U.S., right? But they were going to deport his dad, even though the son was there. And he was like, you know, Ray, like I can't leave him alone with his mom. You know, she's not in a good space. Like blah blah. Can you please adopt him and take care of him? And so my grandparents legally adopted my Uncle Mesquite, who is half Mexican and half Navajo Native American, right? And he is huge. The dude is massive. This guy is like 6'3", like almost 300 pounds. Like this guy, or like 6'5". I don't know. He's huge, right? And I love my Uncle Mesquite, dude. He's like the coolest dude. But they adopt my Uncle Mesquite. Well, my Uncle Mesquite one day when they were in Mexico, this woman was being like attacked or something, or like somebody snatched her purse, and he got into a fight with the perpetrator of whatever crime was happening, and they stabbed him in the eye. So he only has one eye. Right? Which is funny because he's like a big softy, but he's like this giant with like, you know, a ponytail, and he's super dark and looks like a pirate. But my Uncle Mesquite, there's two restaurants in my dad's hometown. There's a McDonald's and a Carl's Jr. And they would always go hang out at the Carl's Jr. And somebody tried to rob it, right? Because there's a highway that runs through town. So they tried to rob this Carl's Jr. And my Uncle Mesquite was like, hell no, you're not robbing my Carl's Jr. So he walked outside and ripped the bumper off, like the front bumper. He rips the front bumper off of like an old truck in the parking lot and comes back inside and is like, yo, you better leave. You better get out of here right now. And the guy's like, oh, I'm going to shoot you. And he's like, you might get me once. You might get me once, but I'm going to beat you to death with this bumper. And I'm like, dude, if some absolutely massive, like, Hispanic Native American guy with one eye is holding an aluminum bumper and threatening to beat me to death, I'm leaving. That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm like, that he could probably take a couple of shots before he went down. Like, he is huge. And he has a son, Mesquite Jr. And so my cousin Mesquite, also really large guy. You know, and they're both like the nicest people. Like, they are literally the nicest human beings. Also, Mesquite Jr. is insanely good at basketball, which is funny because he's like, you know, wide. He's stocky, big build. So it's like, you know how like Shaq is like really tall but also really wide? It's like that, but like wider. And he is very good at basketball. But yeah, no, if Mesquite's holding an aluminum bumper and threatening to beat me to death, yeah, I'm rethinking my life at that point. I'm like, yes, sir, you got it. You got it, boss. My bad. What is with the mobs? Okay, I gotta get out of here while they're fighting each other. I don't have any food. Yikes. Miscalculation. Oh, he shot the bat. What the heck, man? Wait your turn. But yeah, every story my dad's ever told me about his hometown, I'm like, wow, this sounds unhinged. And the thing is a lot of people think he's like BSing, but there's like documented proof of like all the events that he tells. Like, there was a small scale riot in his town, and the way he tells this story, you're like, no way. A town of like 2,000 people, there's no chance, but it like made the news. There's like a newspaper about it. And then he was like, yeah, I never went to the 8th grade. The teachers went on strike and they like didn't have replacement teachers. So the governor like wrote us a letter, so we skipped the 8th grade. And you're thinking like they're not going to let you skip a grade, right? Nope, it's a thing. You can look it up. He just didn't go to school for a year. You're in the hospital. What happened? You're totally good. I didn't stream Monday or Tuesday, so I was out for like 3 days. It's only my second stream this week. But yeah, I had this really good friend in high school, and I was like close with his entire family. And I would tell them like the stories my dad told me, and the dad always thought I was like BSing. And then he like met my dad, and he was like, "Oh my god, it's all real." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it's all real." Dude, that sucks. Did they figure out what's going on? I hate like when something like that happens and they can't like find the reason, you know? Oh my god, that sucks. That is the worst. I'm so sorry. Yeah, in college once, I my entire right arm went numb and I like couldn't move it. And I like went to the hospital and they like accused me of lying like out the gate. And it was like the nurse at the front desk. And I'm like, "You think I'm going to come here and pay you guys hospital money for funsies?" Okay, no worries. I hope you're feeling better. Have fun at work. Um, Actually, I haven't been to a doctor at all in like probably over a year because I got so mad at doctors in general because it was multiple doctors. Okay, welcome back. That I was just like, I'm done with this. I'm not going. I'm not giving them any more money. And it was like the same kind of deal where they just like had no answers. I'm about to go back soon. Because honestly, like I'm not mad at my primary care physician. Like they didn't do anything wrong. But like all the specialists and stuff I had to see were just like bleeding me for money. Ah, that sounds horrific. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm immune to all strains of poison ivy. Like I've been all over the world and have never once been affected by poison ivy. So I literally have no idea what poison ivy feels like. Like I have no clue. I never will. I assume not good. You know, I would assume it does not feel pleasant. But I was thinking about like, you know, people talk about how bad poison ivy is. And it's just like I'll never have that experience. Like I will literally never know. And at first, like I didn't even know there was separate strains of poison ivy, but like my grandpa was immune to poison ivy in the Northeast. But when he came down to visit in Texas, the Texas strain of poison ivy did affect him. But me, like I've literally been all over the country. I've been to 13 different countries. Nothing. Never. I need a good spot to put a farm. And before you say it, yes, I've been in the woods. Like, it's not like I'm saying that never went anywhere near poison ivy. Like, I've literally walked through patches of it. Do you guys, anybody know what nettle is? That's the thing. I feel like if you go outside, inevitably, like if you spend time in the outdoors, you will get it. I just don't. So nettle is a type of plant. It's like a species of plant. Yes. So there's different types of nettle. Not all of them are, harmful to humans. But there's two strains specifically. There is stinging nettle, which is more common, and then in Texas we have what's called bull nettle. Right? So the reason nettle is so like bad is because it has these like little tiny thorns that burrow into your skin and they release like microtoxins that sting you. Hence stinging nettle. But bull nettle is a subspecies of stinging nettle that is so painful that it causes cows to go crazy. Like if a cow comes into contact with it, they like go insane. That is a mod that is called Squat Grow. And so when I was camping one time, Tempest lore moment, I was in Boy Scouts, right? And our scoutmasters were all ex-military guys. So we went camping a lot and we did a lot of like primitive, like no tents or like hiking tents, stuff like that. It is on CurseForge, some mod Rinth as well. I put it in pretty much every mod pack because I hate waiting for crops to grow. It's just so dumb to sit there. Especially because honestly, like, crops aren't that good in Minecraft. Like the trade-off of waiting that long is not that good. When you can just have animals. Anyway, so we'd go camping a lot, and I was like messing around with it was a friend of mine's little brother who was also in Scouts with us. We were like fake fighting, and I picked him up like I was gonna like throw him, right? Like I had him over my shoulder and he's like, "Oh, put me down." And I'm like, "Okay." So I set him down gently. Like I purposely make sure I'm like lightly placing him down. And this kid starts screaming. He's like, "Ah!" Like starts like screaming. And I'm like, "Dude, what? Like I like purposely didn't throw you. Like, are you okay?" And he lifts up his shirt. It is just like fluorescent red. And I had accidentally set him down on a bull nettle plant. And I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh no!" Like, I was like, "Tommy, I'm so sorry, bro." Like, but he was like crying. Anyway, the point of the story. I'm probably not immune to that, but I'm not going to test it. I am not going to test that one. Luckily, it's not as common as poison ivy. Otherwise, I would not be going outside. That is the only time I've ever come into contact with it. Yeah, you can. There is tea that you can make out of nettle. And apparently it's actually really good for you, but I have not had it myself. And I'm not sure. I don't think it's stinging nettle. It might be something else. I don't know. But I remember another time I visited my dad's hometown, we went duning, which is basically this. If you imagine snow sports but mixed with like mudding, that's what duning is. You basically do like people bring out like snowboards and like wakeboards and stuff or like skis and they get pulled by cars through sand dunes. And I was riding on a dirt bike at night and I ran directly into a cactus. Like I didn't see it. It was like, you know, I don't know, like thigh high. Just smashed right into this cactus. It was sick. I'm not immune to cactuses. I don't think anybody is, so 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Maybe brewing it gets rid of the toxins or something. Or maybe they like de-needle it. It is 8:03 for me. I'm in the central time zone. But on the East Coast, it is 9:03. Let's sleep. I don't want to deal with the massive amount of mobs that are going to spawn. I had a buddy who was from Colombia, right? So he moved to the U.S. when he was 13. His mom married an American soldier, so they got green cards and everything. And he didn't know fire ants were a thing, right? And like obviously, especially in the southern United States, but in Texas, we have a ton of fire ants. And one time we were at my parents' place and he was like standing in a fire ant hill and didn't know. And I said, hey, you might want to move. And he goes, what? Why? And then they all started biting him at once. They were like all over his legs, like literally covered. And he was like, oh my God, why does that burn so much? And I was like, they're fire ants, bro. Like, he's like, a fire ant? Like, what is that? And I was like, oh, you sweet summer child. My sweet, sweet cocoa butter skin friend. Yeah, fire ants are dumb. I don't know. I don't know what the big man upstairs was thinking on that one, but terrible. But weirdly enough, so Texas red ants and fire ants hate each other like naturally. They like do not get along at all. Because like some species of ants are cool with each other, like they'll like exist in the same area, you know, not right next to each other, but like they won't immediately attack each other. But red ants, Texas red ants, and fire ants, it's on sight. Like if they discover each other, they immediately attack. So my parents kept a Texas red ant colony alive in our backyard for like ever because like they're not really that aggressive of an ant species. So to keep fire ants out of the backyard, they just like kept this like giant colony of red ants. But I always thought that was interesting that they were just like they just vehemently hate fire ants. Like humans, not that bad, right? If you step on their hill, they'll freak out. Otherwise, they're chill. But God forbid they see a red ant. Yeah, I feel like the mosquitoes here have been getting bigger. Mosquitoes are dumb too. I get they feed birds and stuff, but like, ugh. And like wasps, you know, everybody's like, oh, why do wasps exist, right? I understand regular wasps, you know, birds eat them. They, you know, eliminate insect species. Peace out, Rage. Thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate you. But there is a type of wasp called a tarantula hawk that, fun fact, live in Texas, as well as other places. And tarantula hawks can paralyze human beings. Like, if you get stung by a tarantula hawk, that part of your body will become temporarily paralyzed. And I'm like, see, that's a creature that should not exist. They're called tarantula hawks because they drop from the sky and sting tarantulas and then lay their larvae in their paralyzed bodies. But they can just straight up kill birds. Like, they can just straight up one-shot birds. But I had one land on me in high school, and I was like, I can't move. Like, it was like Jurassic Park. I was like, if I move, it's over. Yeah, I like landed on my thigh. I did not realize my shield was broken. And like I said, if it stings you, like that whole limb basically goes numb. Like you can't move it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are there so many mobs? Like, what is this? Bruh. Yeah, okay. Okay! This is ridiculous. Do I have any iron? Because if I do, I'll make another shield and just run down there. I know it's dark, but there's just so many. Like, there's so many mobs. Give me the wood. Okay. Oh, the, like, horde zombie or whatever? I don't know if it did. Like, there's been a couple of them because there's been a trillion zombies and also a ridiculous amount of skeletons. There is, though, one of the mods I'm using adds these, like, mobs where, like, they have a backpack on, and I'm pretty sure it's the backpack mod that I'm using. And they always have effects on them. They'll have, like, speed or strength or, like random potion effects. And they basically one-shot me. Like, the only other hardcore world that, like, I got decently far on after I lost my, like, main one, I got two-shotted by a, like, super zombie that had strength, speed, like, every potion effect you could possibly have. Yeah, actually, Cider was there, funny enough. He, like, saw it happen. He was like, what just occurred? Yeah, I need to grab the rest of my stuff and then skedaddle. Skedaddle! Okay, almost skedoodling time. Like Scoop. Like, let's get out of here. Goodbye, losers. Let's take stock, make sure we grabbed everything important. Looks like we did. What you eating? Ren, thank you for the follow. Ooh, love me some tamales. Dude, that's the worst with like chips and dip. Like, it's so good, but you just overeat, you know? Like, you put some chips and queso in front of me, you might as well not serve me food. I'm eating until I'm physically ill. Ugh. We need to find another cave that's not like a straight drop into the pit of hell. This is a ravine. Let's go check it out. Might as well. I'm a funny guy sometimes, you know? One of my coworkers yesterday when I was in the office, they were like, "Oh, have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy?" And I was like, I would get canceled so fast. I think you can either, if you're on PC, you can get it from the Microsoft's like store, like the Windows Store. If you're on Xbox or PlayStation, the Xbox or PlayStation stores both have it, or I believe you can get a disc version as well. And it's not even like I'd get canceled for saying something insane. It's just like I would get canceled for saying something really dumb, you know? Or I'd just like nonchalantly say something, and then somebody would be like, actually, that's super offensive. Like the other day on stream, I was talking about how, so biologically, right, like anatomically, women are far better at seeing stationary objects, right? Which is why men lose things so often when they set it down, or like they can't find something in the refrigerator or whatever. Is because men are much better at seeing moving objects, right? And that's because men developed motion sight for hunting, whereas women for foraging developed stationary sight. And in the modern era, stationary sight is much more valuable, right? Because like we're not really hunting anymore. And somebody got like offended. They were like, oh, like you're just like sucking up to like the female viewers. I'm like, dude, I didn't say one was better than the other. I just it's a fact. Like, it's like a weird, fun fact. Like, you know how many times I've had to ask Lex where my wallet is or my keys, and they're like sitting right next to me? Yeah, like it just is what it is. Like, it's not like a dig. It's not like, oh, men are stupid. Like, it's just like we literally also like this is another weird fun fact is that men are inherently worse at seeing color than women for the exact same reason, right? Like, women are much better at seeing colors because they needed to for survival, right? So like most men are at least slightly green colorblind, right? Like, our eyes did not develop the capability to like differentiate colors as well. And that's interesting. Like, that's a cool fact, you know? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Some colors, Kale. Here we go. Snowflake Kale about to get... Yeah, no, you can look it up. Like, the vast majority of men are actually green colorblind, and they, like, most of them don't even know it. And it's not like they can't see green. They just don't see as many shades of green. And it's because it was more valuable for men to filter out green so that they could see in, like, you know, trees and grass and everything than it was for them to see the difference in the greens. I actually, like, legitimately am. I'm green colorblind. And there's another color I can't see very well. But, like, I can obviously see the color. It's not like it's, like, gray or whatever to me. It's just, like, I took geology in college as an elective, and I had to have the professor tell me what color certain rocks were because I couldn't tell. I was like, is this dark green or is this black? Like, I do not know. But yeah, like, a tennis ball is a good litmus test. Like, most women can tell, like, tennis balls are either yellow or green, but, like, men struggle with it. But yeah, it just so happens that, like, evolution, like, benefited women in the modern era for, like, sight. Also, men need glasses at a higher rate than women, which is, I don't know if that's related to any of those facts, but it probably is. It probably has something to do with, like, the shape of our eyes. I don't know why I know these things. I just do. Like, if you were to ask, like, oh, Tempest, where did you learn that? I couldn't tell you. I'm actually, like, scared of things like LASIK, you know? Because, like, what if I get permanent dry eye? You know? What are my options? I end my life? Like, what do I do? You can, brother. I was gonna ask. I've been doing some Fortnite streams lately. I was gonna see if you wanted to join. Lex Cologne and I were Fortniting it up the other day. Lex. That's my problem, is like if I can't sleep or something, I will literally like be like, oh, I wonder how this works. And then I end up reading about the fall of Constantinople. Which, fun fact, they actually never broke the walls of Constantinople. They instead bribed a guard to leave the gate open, and that is how they got inside the city. Y'all thought I was kidding. You thought it was a joke. Yeah, everybody thinks that the Ottomans like blew apart the walls with cannons. Nope. They never got through. Like they bribed a guy to leave the gate open. Like, don't get me wrong, they did a lot of damage to the walls, but they never broke through the walls. My favorite fun history fact, though, is that like the First Crusade was never intended to like win. Like they didn't plan on it winning. Right? Bet, brother. Happy birthday, Josh. Yeah, so the Crusades were never actually supposed to happen, right? Like, it was never really, like, a thought. They weren't, like, there wasn't, like, a large-scale outcry, like, we gotta take the Holy Land back. Like, most nobles didn't care, right? But they had too many people, and there was too many nobles, right? Like, the bloodlines were getting thinned, and there was too many people to feed. So the high nobles who were in charge were like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? You know, we can't afford to keep all these people fed. So they're like, oh, genius idea. Let's send all of the poor people and all of the lesser nobles who like didn't have houses or anything like that to the Middle East. Let's have them attack Jerusalem and they'll all die and then we don't have to deal with them anymore, right? And so they asked the Pope. They're like, hey, can you sanction this endeavor so it doesn't look like we're just murdering all the poor people? And the Pope was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, it's a win-win situation, right? And they sent all these poor people, no knights, none, zero, right? There was not a single knight that went. It was all like houseless nobles. Lemon Boy, thank you for the roses. And then poor people on boats to Jerusalem with no siege equipment. They didn't send a single trebuchet, nothing. Right? There's no trees outside of Jerusalem. It's not a forest. There's nothing to build siege equipment out of. Right? They did not plan on winning at all. And so they send all these people out there. Oh, thank you for 100 roses, my dude. So they get there, and they're like, oh, what should we do? And whatever idiot that was in charge was like, let's attack the city. Well, at the time, the caliphate, like, didn't expect anybody to attack Jerusalem. Like, why would they? Right? Like, Europe was separated by the Ottoman Empire, and, like, they were like, oh, we're all good, don't worry about it, everything's fine. So they win. They just throw bodies at the walls until they win. Right? And so they're like, oh my god, we won, we took back Jerusalem, yay! And they write back to Europe, and the European nobility was like, holy shit. Like, what are we going to do? Breezy, what's up, brother? Welcome back. Because they were like, we didn't think we'd get this far, bro. There's no way. Like, what are we going to do? And so, Birdman, it has been a while, brother. How are you? So they put a 13-year-old boy with leprosy in charge. That was their best option. I'm doing all right, my guy. Cannot complain. But yeah, everybody thinks about the Crusades as like, oh, this holy war where these two Abrahamic religions are battling back and forth, and like the European nobility had no intention on actually winning, right? And then after they won the first time, they were like, maybe this isn't such a bad idea, and then everybody got rich because they were financing it. So like, you're telling me we can make money and get rid of poor people? So they did 13 Crusades. But yeah, it was like, it was so random. The Pope hadn't even thought about it. It wasn't even a thought in the church's mind. They weren't like, oh my God, we have to take back Jerusalem. It was literally like the King of France and the King of Spain, or not Spain, England, were like, yo, we got to do something about these poor people. Lex, thank you for the love you sows. But yeah, that's my favorite history fact, is that like they just literally did not know what to do. They were like, oh my God. Like, there is like documented letters between nobles in Europe who were like shocked. They're like, sweet mother of God, they actually did it. Like, Birdman, thank you for the corgi. Fun Tempest fact, I desperately want to get a corgi and name it Dave. I feel like Dave is the perfect corgi name. But yeah, my brain is just full of like stupid history facts like that, where it's like, hey, this is what actually happened, and like we've just romanticized the idea. Breezy, thank you for the Harvey. A abandoned mine shaft in a cavern, in a lush cavern. Give me this. Well, the Crusades are definitely romanticized, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff in history where it's just like people misremember it. This is a weird topic to talk about on stream, but I'm going to. So if I get canceled, rip, rest in peace, Tempest, 2026 to 2026. But I took a history class in college that was basically 1492 to like the end of the Civil War, right? And it was all about the Americas. And so, weirdly enough, slavery in the US did not start as what we think of, right? It was not as like brutal as it turned into at originally, which, like, you know, that happens with everything. It all starts off like not, you know, as bad as they intended it to be, but whatever. All slavery is bad. Let's just be clear about that. Anyway, so what happened is they had the English founded Jamestown, and so they had slaves, and then they had like poor Irish indentured servants. And then the Irish servants and the Africans became like best buddies. They were like really good friends. They'd have like these giant parties together, right? Because the Irish would make whiskey out of corn, and the Africans would like cook all this like interesting foods and made like their drinks that they brought from their culture. And so they'd have these like ragers essentially at night, because they could relate to each other. Their conditions were essentially the same. The only difference is the Irish could buy their freedom. And eventually they started stealing animals from the rich people because they wanted to like roast pigs and stuff. Well, the rich people didn't like that. They were like, hell no. We draw the line when it comes to stealing our stuff. And so they like executed a couple of people. I can't remember what their punishment was. Well, obviously the Poors did not take kindly to that. They were like, "Whoa!" So they rebelled, and they basically killed all of the leadership of Jamestown and like put their head on spikes and like sent them, the survivors, back to England. They're like, "Get out of here, you smelly losers, GGs." England did not take kindly to that. They're like, "Yo, this is like our main colony in the New World. What are you guys doing?" So they sent like 1,000 soldiers back to Jamestown from England. Meanwhile, the Irish and the Africans are like living it up. They're having the time of their lives. You know, they've basically established a working society out of nothing. And so the English show back up, kill a bunch of people, and then they're like, "Okay, how do we stop this from happening again?" Right? Because like once the soldiers leave, what's going to stop them from just being like, "Nah, we don't like this," and like doing it again? So instead, they instituted all these like weird racial laws where they couldn't like intermingle and they had to be separate, and like convinced the Irish that they were superior. So, fun fact for all you Europeans out there: England invented racism. Crazy. But yeah, like the most evil event in human history took place because rich people didn't like poor people getting together and partying, and they had to separate them somehow. So they like came up with like a really stupid reason. It is crazy, like when you think about it. You know, it's like we could have avoided so much tragedy. Like obviously, like slavery was bad. It should have ended way sooner, but it got so much worse because rich people hated poor people. What's up, Luce? Yeah. A tale as old as time. Rich people ruining everything. Yeah, it's always funny to me, like when I learned that in history class, like their reaction was not, "Okay, let's make working conditions better, you know, and provide animals." Their solution was like, "Let's separate everybody by race." It's like, are you serious? Like that was your genius idea? But it is interesting to read those letters and everything, like the journals and stuff from like people from that time, because like the African slaves and the Irish like indentured servants like loved each other. Like all these journals and everything are about how like they became like such good friends, and their kids would hang out and stuff, and they'd help each other grow crops, and you know, blah blah. And I was like, dude, that's so sad. And like I am talking about like Jamestown era colonial America. So like the very beginning of colonization. So like end of the 1400s, beginning of the 1500s. Right, it is cool. It's cool to learn about that, like genuinely they really liked each other, and then like rich English people were like, "No, no, no. You can't do that." They liked each other so much that they were teaching them to like read and write and stuff, so that they could like write letters to each other. Which clearly the rich people didn't like. But yeah, I'm trying to remember that professor's name because he's published. Super cool guy. I talked to him multiple times, like outside of class, like we would just chat. But his specialty was dictatorships. That was his like focus in history. And so part of his credentials when he started the class, he like introduced himself and like why you should listen to him essentially. One of his credentials was that he smuggled himself into Cuba on a fishing boat so that he could access the Cuban National Library. Like before they lifted the embargo and like travel ban. So he went to Venezuela, burned or like got rid of his American passport, like hid it somewhere, hid in the bottom of a fishing boat, sailed to Cuba, and then like faked his identity as like a Venezuelan national so he could hang out in Cuba and like read in their library. He's like, yeah, I did that for like 4 years. I was like, dude, what? It's like, you did what? Yeah, I don't know, I like talking about history. It's just because like there's so many weird little things about history that like aren't taught in like school or whatever, you know? Um or they just like brush on it and don't explain in like full detail. And I'm not saying like history books lie or blah blah. You know, what I'm saying is like there's all these funny little details that just make like history feel more human, you know? Like history just seems so like either really boring or like the way they write about World War II, it plays out like a movie, right? But there's all these crazy little things that happen in the background that they just like don't talk about. Where you're like, wow, that's like the most human thing I've ever heard. Like a lot of the times, especially in the U.S., I don't know how it is other places. Um, but like Julius Caesar, for example, obviously a very important figure, but like he was devastated that he had to like invade Rome to like take over the Republic. Like he did not want to do it at all. Like he didn't want to be a dictator. Like, and they don't talk about that. They just talk about how like Julius Caesar came back, like overthrew the Republic, and then he got killed. And but it, like if you dig into it, he was like absolutely distraught that it came down to that. Yeah, his plan was to give the Republic back to the people. Like he was just gonna like restructure the military and like oust the current senators and then just like hand it back over. But then he got murdered, and his adoptive son became the first emperor. Robbie, what's up, son? Oh wait, I have a ton of iron. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like history. Yeah. Oh yeah, he definitely got murdered because the rich people didn't want to leave. That's a reoccurring theme in history of like people that are trying to do the right thing and then get murdered, and then that gets glossed over. I mean, like Julius is cool. I definitely think Julius Caesar is a really cool figure. I think there's a lot of Roman emperors that did a lot for Western culture. You know, um, there's a lot of Roman emperors that really hurt Western culture. But um, I don't know. I don't know who my favorite would be if I thought about it. You know, because even Nero, for example, like Nero well, let's use Caligula as an example. The Roman Emperor Caligula was regarded as insane, right? Everybody talks about how crazy Caligula was. But if you look into it, a lot of the stuff he was doing was literally just rage baiting rich people, right? Like his early, whatever, resume was really good. He built like public parks and, you know, coliseums and bathhouses, and he gave money to the poor and like all these great things, right? Well, the Senate kept trying to tell him like, you can't do this, you can't do that, like you can't, you know, whatever. And so, for example, they're like, oh, he made his horse proconsul, which was like the leader of the Senate. They're like, that's why he's so crazy. He made his horse proconsul. But if you look at it, it was because the senators told him that you'll be able to fix poverty when a horse is in charge of the Senate. And so he was like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? So he like made his horse the proconsul of the Senate. Why are you lost, Dog Lover? And then he wanted to invade North Africa because they lost control of a couple of like Roman territories. And they said like, oh, you're never going to have a navy strong enough to do that. Like you'd have to conquer Poseidon himself. So he ordered his army to go attack the ocean and like stab the water. And everybody's like, yeah, see, he's crazy. But it's like all out of context. But yeah, dude was just rage baiting people like for half of his empireship. Nah, I'm talking about like weird random history facts. My favorite Caligula fact though is like they're like, you'll be a great emperor when you can walk to Sicily, which is the island off the coast of Italy, right? And so he made a bridge out of boats. He sunk boats to make a bridge and walked and rode his horse across it. Like the dude was an absolute mad lad. Like he was all about that action. But also specifically with Roman history, there's this weird phenomenon where the Roman historian, right, the head of Roman history, was always appointed by the current emperor. And so they wanted to look good, so they'd write poorly about the last emperor. They'd be like, ah, the last emperor sucked. He wasn't as good as this guy. And then a new emperor would come around, fire the historian, hire a new historian, and then the cycle would repeat. So you always have to take Roman history with like a grain of salt. Very biased narrators. Let's go ahead and cook this. But yeah, dude, Caligula was just doing like literally. I mean, like he did do some weird things, you know, like he married his sister. That's weird. There's no excuse for that one, right? I can't. There's no framing that one. But he did some funny stuff. Like he was just doing all sorts of weird, crazy things. But even Nero at the beginning of Nero's reign, he like was a decent emperor. Like a lot of people talk about, he was like very charitable, and then like all of a sudden he became extremely paranoid. Ah, well, welcome back. Glad you made it. I basically spent the entire time you were gone talking about the Roman Emperor Caligula and how he would just do funny stuff to rage bait rich people. Some BK. I haven't had BK in a while. It's been a bit. a good minute. But yeah, there's no excuse for marrying your sister. That's crazy. That's wild work. I don't care if you are the Emperor of Rome. Sounds good, Kay. Peace out. Lucia, thank you for the follow. Well, I appreciate that. I try my best. Ooh. I was just talking about random history stuff, dog lover. How did we get... We were talking about the First Crusade. That's how this started. Usually I go live for like a minimum of 2 hours, I try. Unless I'm like, there's something important coming up. But sometimes I go longer. On the weekends, like if I stream at night, so like Friday, Saturday night, sometimes I'll stream. I don't schedule weekends, but if I hop on, I've had streams go like 7 hours. So it kind of just depends on what I'm doing. Oh my god, it's daytime. It is daytime. The sun is out. This is the problem with living in forests. Yeah, it kind of just depends because like sometimes I've watched Queso a little bit, not a whole lot. But I know who he is. It just depends. Like if I have a ton of people on, I might stay on a little bit longer, you know. But if it's like a day I have to go in the office, so like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I have to. Well, hook it up for tomorrow, brother. Trying to play some Fort. I probably will, at least for a little bit. I'll probably play Fortnite tomorrow. Instead of Minecraft, but I will try to be on. Brother, what's up? Ali. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on with the TikTok algorithm, man. Like normally by now I would have like 3,000 people come through the stream. We're only at 675. And I'm trying to figure it out. I'm multi-streaming, Lucia, so I am on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. So yeah, I'm not talking to myself, I swear. I miss you guys too, you know? No, dude, people aren't getting the notifications. I'm being told by so many people, they're like, I don't get your stream notifications anymore. I don't understand what the problem is. But yeah, we had, the most we've ever had in the stream is 256 or something like that. Yeah, pretty much everybody has told me like it stopped sending them notifications, and I don't know why. I'm trying to figure it out though. I've like reached out to see if I can fix it. What's up, Go Pack? You know who it is. Dude, you're just bouncing off every platform right now. Oh no, I just do this for fun. I have a full-time job. Just for funsies. I was going to do this full time, I'd be doing it a lot more. I'd be on here like all day. I know it's you, dog lover. Not much, honestly. So my name for streaming is in Latin, because I understand a decent amount of Latin. So it means firestorm, right? And so since I don't do this full time, I don't make a ton of money. Like I make a little bit of money off streaming, but not a ton. I just had like AI generate it. And it actually turned out pretty good. I actually really like my logo. And look, you can hate me. I don't care. Everybody's job's going to get replaced by AI. All right. My job's almost there. All right. It's getting close. Where was that cave? I feel for small artists, but I can't afford to pay people $50 for a hobby logo. Everything else, though, that's the only thing I've ever used AI for on my channel. Everything else has all been myself. Yeah, for now, bro. Yeah, I think they got a ways to go for us, Kale. That was just a random number I threw out. What is up with the lack of caves? All right, guys. I think I'm gonna hop off. It's been a bit. It's been a couple of hours here, and it's getting hot in this room. But I will try to sneak on tomorrow for some Fortnite. Anyways, y'all have a great afternoon. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys. Keep it real.